Welcome students. In today's lecture we will learn about another machine element, that is springs. What is a spring? A spring is defined as an elastic machine element which deflects under the action of the load and returns to its original shape when the load is removed. The important function and applications of the springs are as follows. First, the springs are used to absorb shocks and vibrations. For example, in vehicle suspension springs, railway buffer springs in elevators, and vibration mounts for machineries. Springs are also used to store energy, that is, springs used in clocks, toys, circuit breakers, etc. Another application of spring is used to measure the force, that is, in weight balances and scales. Springs are also used to apply force and control the motion. There are number of springs used for this purpose. For example, in a cam and a follower mechanism, spring is used to maintain the contact between the two elements, whereas in engine valve mechanism, spring is used to return the rocker arm to its normal position when the disturbing force is removed. Similarly, the spring used in the clutch provides the required force to engage the clutch. In this all applications, the spring is either used to apply the force or control the motion. Now let us move further towards the types of the springs. Springs are generally classified according to their shape. The most popular type of spring is the helical spring. The helical spring is made up of a wire, usually of a circular cross section or a rectangular cross section, which is bent in the form of the helix. There are two basic types of helical springs. First is the compression spring and other is the tension spring. In helical springs, the external force tends to shorten the springs. In other words, the spring is being compressed, whereas in the extension spring, the force tends to lengthen the spring, or we can say the spring is being elongated, as shown in the diagram. In a conical or a volute spring, as the load increases, the number of active turn coil decreases, which thereby increases the stiffness. What is active coil and what is stiffness we will study in the later part. Torsion springs are another type of helical springs, but are generally used for providing low torque. They are normally used in door hinges, automobiles, etc. Another type is the spiral springs. These kind of springs are generally used in watches and toys. Disc spring, as the name suggests, are made up of number of conical discs as shown in the figure. They are used where high stiffness is required. Another type of spring is the leaf spring. It consists of number of leaves held together by means of a U-bolt or clamp. This kind of springs are used in automobiles suspension system. A sample of the leaf spring is as shown in the diagram. After types of springs, let us now move towards the terminologies used in springs, which will be helpful while solving the problems. The first in the list is the solid length. It is defined as the axial length of the spring, which is so compressed that the adjacent coils touch each other. In this case, the spring is completely compressed so that no further compression is possible. The solid length is given by the relation Ls is equal to N dash multiplied by D, where N dash is the total number of turns and D is the diameter of the wire. Compressed length. Compressed length is defined as the axial length of the spring which is subjected to maximum compressive force. In this case, the spring is subjected to maximum deflection delta. When the spring is subjected to maximum force, there should be some gap or clearance between the adjacent coils. The gap is essential to prevent the clashing of the coils. The clashing allowance or the total axial gap is usually taken as 15% of the maximum deflection, or sometimes arbitrarily we can take a gap of 1 mm or 2 mm between adjacent coils. Next is the free length. Free length is defined as the axial length of an unloaded helical compression spring. In this case, no external force acts on the spring. Free length is an important dimension in spring design and manufacture. It is given by the relation LF is equal to LS, that is solid length, plus the maximum deflection delta plus n dash minus 1 multiplied by clearance between two coils. This entire term, that is n dash minus 1 into clearance between the two coils, give us the total clearance in the spring. Next parameter is the spring index. Mathematically we can write C is equal to D divided by small d. Next term, stiffness. It is also known as spring rate or the spring constant or the spring gradient, and is defined as the force required to produce a unit deflection. For example, for 1 mm deflection, how much force will be required? That is known as stiffness. Next terminology is the pitch. The pitch of a coil is defined as the axial distance between adjacent coils in an uncompressed state of the spring. Active coils. Active coils are the coils in the springs which contribute to the spring action and support the external force and deflect under the action of forces. A portion of the end coil which is in contact with the seat does not contribute to the spring action and are called as inactive coils. These coils do not support the load and do not deflect under the action of external forces. Next topic is types of ends of the springs. As shown in the diagram, there are 4 different types of end, namely plane ends, plane and ground ends, square ends, square and ground ends. The number of active turns in the spring depends on the type of end used. For example, in a square and ground end, active turn will be total number of turns minus 2, and likewise for other cases. Generally, if the type of end of the spring is not given in the question, we assume to be it as square and ground end. These relations are also given on page number 7.101 of the PSG design data book. Let us now discuss about the material of the springs. The selection of the material of the spring depends upon, first, the load acting on the spring, second, the range of the stresses, third, the expected fatigue life, fourth, the environmental conditions in which it is operating, and fifth, severity of deformation. While selecting the material, care should be taken that the material should possess the following properties. It should be resilient, that means it should be able to come back to its original shape and size. It should be ductile, and it should have high static and fatigue strength. The commonly used material for springs are cold drawn plain carbon steel wires containing 0.6 to 0.7% carbon, oil hardened and tempered plain carbon steel 0.6 to 0.7% carbon and 0.6 to 0.9% manganese, oil hardened and tempered alloy steel like 55Cr 1V23 and 55Si 2Mn90, stainless steel and non-ferrous materials. If the material of the spring is not given, then we will use 55Si2Mn90 or 50Cr 1V23. The above material are being listed on page number 1.17 of the PSG design data book, and the value of the same are on PSG page number 1.15 as 150 and 180 kgf per mm square respectively. If factor of safety is not mentioned in the question, we will use anywhere between 1.5 to 3, and if the spring index is not given, we will use spring index, that is C as 6, and modulus of rigidity, that is G for steel, as 80,000 MPa. With this we have completed the basics of the springs. We will end up our lecture here. In the next class we will be solving some problems related to springs. Thank you.